Hi everyone, welcome to Chinese Grammar Simplified. My friend Tony is an American businessman who travels to China a lot. As a beginner Chinese student, he finds coordinating travel plans with his Chinese partners to be difficult sometimes. They often seem to get confused about what happens first and what happens later. To help Tony clarify, today in the next 5 minutes, we are going to talk about the patterns involving 以前 and 以后. In a lot of textbooks, the meaning of 以前 and 以后 are often translated as before and after. However, the way we use these in Chinese might seem quite funky to English speakers at first. Here is why. When you want to say before XYZ in Chinese, using 以前, we need to change the order and say it as XYZ 以前. Similarly, when you want to say after XYZ, we need to change the order when using 以后 and say it as XYZ 以后. For example, before going to China would be going to China 以前 or 去中国以前. After going to the UK would be going to the UK 以后 or 去英国以后. Why do Chinese say it that way? In my opinion, instead of just before, 以前 can be more precisely interpreted as before then, while 以后 can be interpreted as after then in English. So, when we say 我们去中国以前去美国, we're actually saying we go to China and before then we go to the US. When we say 我们去英国以后去美国, we are actually saying we go to the UK and after then go to the US. To visualize the way they work, let's imagine these events happening in this order. The word 以前 is the time machine that takes us to the past to talk about the action before, while the word 以后 is the time machine that brings us to the future to talk about the action after. The bigger challenge is getting mentally accustomed to presenting information in that order. For example, as previously explained, 我们去中国以前去美国 can be translated as we go to China and before then we go to the US. Or, before we go to China, we go to the US. However, because English often presents the time element at the end of a sentence, you can also translate it as we go to the US before we go to China. But in Chinese, we always need to present the time element before the main action in a sentence. If we compare this later version with the original Chinese text, for English speakers, the Chinese way of thinking may appear as backwards. As an example, my friend Tony once wanted to say, we will go to Shanghai before going to Beijing. But by mistake, he said it in Chinese as 我们去上海以前去北京, which actually meant we will go to Shanghai and before then we will go to Beijing. As a result, his Chinese partners got a totally different message. So the correct way of saying what he meant is to switch the order of the information and say it as we will go to Beijing and before then we will go to Shanghai. Or in Chinese, 我们去北京以前去上海. Here are some more examples. To say, we have a meeting before 3 o'clock. We will say, we, 3 o'clock, before then, have a meeting. In Chinese, 我们3点以前开会. To say, let's go home after Tuesday, we will say, we, Tuesday, after then, go home. In Chinese, 我们星期二以后回家. So far, all of the examples that we have seen have something before the word 以前 and 以后. But sometimes in Chinese, we don't add anything before those words and just start the sentence with them directly. In those cases, similar to English word before, 以前 can be understood as in the past, while 以后 can be understood as in the future. For example, if we say 以前我没去过中国, that means in the past I've never been to China. If we say 以后我想去看熊猫, that means in the future I want to go see the pandas. As always, to help you practice, please take a look at the following English sentences and think about how you would say them in Chinese. You can find the answers on my website. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions about any Chinese grammar point that confuses you, please leave a comment below. For customized Chinese lessons, please reach me at TwinCitiesChineseTutor.us. See you next time.